This video is number 3 of 4 of the National 5 Graphic Communication assignment from 2019. In the last two videos we have looked at the earpiece and the main body of the earbud, and in this video we're going to look at the last piece, which is the wireless connector. Now, in both of the previous pieces we have used Revolve to make the object. We have sketched out half the profile and then 3D modelled it by going around the centre axis. Whilst the wireless connector does have Revolve involved, it also uses Extrude for the second part of it. So we'll be using two different 3D modelling techniques to do the one part. Now, looking at this object, we can kind of split it into two different sections. We have this part here that sticks out, that's kind of like circular in shape. And then we've got the flat part at the back of the object that is the kind of wireless connector. So we're going to kind of treat these as two separate parts. However, we're not creating two completely different drawings. They are the one part. So it's not an assembly, it would just be one drawing, but we're going to do it in two different stages. So the first stage we are going to look at is the kind of angled part that sticks out of the wireless connector. Now, just like previous, we are going to use Revolve for this part because it's symmetrical and also it's circular. So the first thing we're going to do is draw our straight line from here to here, and we can see that that is 6 millimeters. So in Inventor, I'm going to click New, and then a standard millimeter part. I'm going to start a 2D sketch, and again make sure that I'm on the XY plane. Then with my line, I'm going to draw up from the cross where there's the green dot. I'm going to draw up 6 millimeters. Now, to get the shape at the bottom here, we're going to look at our elevation, and we can see that the biggest circle is a diameter of 11. So because it's a revolve, we're going to half that and make it 5.5. So I'm going to get my line, and at the bottom of the green dot, I'm going to go out 5.5. We then need to find the line that goes from here to here, because so far we have this line and this line, so we need something to join it up with. So looking at the elevation, we can see that if we were to draw a line from here all the way down, we're hitting the line that says a diameter of 6. So that means that from this point to this point it's 3. So with my line tool, I'm going to go at the top of my 6 and I'm going to go out 3. We now then have to do our arc, which we can see is a radius of 10. So we're going to click arc. We're going to go where the 3 is and the 5.5 is. And then we're going to kind of roughly put it in the right direction, but then type in 10 to our measurement so that we can see here that our arc is at 10 millimeters. And there we've modelled our first part. So we're going to finish the sketch and we're going to revolve it on the centre axis, like so. So just now we have this shape. So, looking at the pictorial view, you can see that at the front of it we have a little square that connects to the square here. So looking at the plan, we can see that once again we have a square at 3. So we're going to start a sketch on our flat edge. We're going to make sure that our rectangle is set to a 2-point centre rectangle. And in the middle of the shape, we're going to go out and click 3, then press Tab on our keyboard, and then press 3 again. We're then going to finish the sketch. And looking at the drawing, we can see that from the plan, from the edge out, it goes out 1 millimetre. So we're going to extrude that square 1 millimetre. So right now we have modelled the first kind of part of it, and we now need to look at the back part. Now, because we can see in the end elevation that the back part sticks up from the elevation, we're going to turn on a plane to help us sketch out these shapes. So, on my modelling tree, there is a little folder called the origin folder. So we're going to expand that, and we're going to find a plane that runs kind of up and down. So if I look at my XZ plane, we can see that that runs up and down. So I'm going to right click and turn on its visibility. Now, whilst this plane runs the orientation that we want, it's in the wrong location. We want it to be here rather than at the front of the object. So I'm going to go up to my menu where it says plane. I'm going to offset, so I'm going to select offset plane. I'm going to select my plane and I'm going to drag it out and change it to 6 millimetres, and that will allow the plane to sit on the back. Now, the plane that we done originally, to save confusion, it might be beneficial for you to right click the plane and turn off its visibility. It just makes it a little bit easier to see what we're working with. So, to draw the back of this object, we're going to start a sketch on the plane that we just made. Now we can see that the object is kind of rounded and then it goes all the way down and kind of squares off at the bottom. So the first thing we're going to do is find out the length of this part all the way down to this part so that it's easier for us to draw. And we can see from the end elevation that it's 25. We can also see that the bottom is 4. But if we're drawing, so we're going to draw this shape and then we're going to draw this line here. So with my line tool, I'm going to select the green dot and I'm going to go down 25. And then with my line, I'm going to go out from that bottom of the 25, so the green dot. I'm going to go out 2 in one direction, and 2 in the other direction. Like so. So we've got our line at 25 and then we've got our 4 at the bottom. Now, in order for us to line this up, we need to find out what this curve is, and we can see here that it's got a radius of 35. Now, in Inventor, when we're drawing circles, we do not use radiuses, we use diameters. So with my circle, I'm going to find the middle point, the top of my 25 line, and I'm going to go out 7. So 3.5 plus 3.5 is 7, so we're going to go out 7. So that I've got my circle. This then allows me to grab my line and I'm going to go from the one side of my 4 to the line, like the kind of tangency of the circle, so the kind of middle to the edge of the circle. And again, we're going to do the same, so we're going to go to the edge of the 4, and then we're going to select the edge of our circle. Once we're done, we're going to finish the sketch, and we're going to extrude out our shape. And we should know that it works because it allows us to select it. So we can see from the end elevation that we go out 3 millimeters, so we're going to change the distance to 3 millimeters. And there we have the kind of back part started. Now looking at our end elevation, you can see that it has this kind of diagonal line. And when we look at the elevation, we've got a hidden detail going up both sides and along the top. So because it's a diagonal, it's going to be a chamfer, not a fillet. And we know that it's 1 millimeter at 45 degrees. So I'm going to go up to chamfer and my modify, and I'm going to make sure that the distance is set to 1 millimeter. I'm then going to select my side, the curve, and the other side. So both sides and the curve. Now you can see here that because I selected the curve, it kind of made it go hidden. It didn't know what it was doing, but the minute I select the next line, it comes back. So we're going to press OK. And there we have the back of our earbud. The last thing I'm going to do is just right click the plane and turn off the visibility. And there we have our third piece. So just like the 2 previous pieces, we're going to go to File, Save As, and save in our OneDrive folder. In part 4, we will look at constraining the earbud in the next video.